Education no longer is the same as it was 25 years ago. I would still use university, learn some fundamentals, meet people, maybe go there for 6 months to a year, apply for it, quit, leave.
What I know now as a professional that I wish I knew as a student. I would say, okay, for a period of time, I was very stagnant as an artist. I would say maybe when I was in university, I was pretty stagnant. And I had this mindset of I'm better than the peers around me, so I don't really need to go ham with my studying or try to study from these other examples of crazy good artists in the industry. So I had a little bit of an ego, and then the moment I dropped that and just started actually trying to absorb what's around me and the other. But yeah, I would say the moment I dropped that ego that hey, I can do this, I don't need help, because of that mindset, sometimes I didn't even look at references. Sometimes I didn't even look at other artists' styles, right? But then the moment you drop that mindset, you're you start adopting more of a growth mindset. You start trying to hey, this person has this really cool style, what can I learn from them? Or this, this subject, I'm just not that good at drawing. You admit that to yourself, and then you go and look for references that can actually help you with that.
That having fun while you're painting and painting the things that you're interested in doesn't necessarily take away from the fundamentals that you're trying to learn if you can use those fundamentals that you've learned and apply them to the fun stuff as soon as possible. All right, that is going to help at least for me, just speaking for myself, that's going to help your progress speed up a heck of a lot, because it's going to keep the motivation, it's going to keep the progress going, but it's also going to be something that you're interested in as well. So trying to find where you can get those fundamentals, right? Wherever you get that from, and then apply that to the stuff that you actually want to be doing, all right? So that's what I wish that I did a little bit sooner. Not wait to try stylization because I need to know anatomy first. Test it out, have fun with it. Learn a bit of anatomy, try it in a stylized way, So hopefully that makes sense.
If I was starting over today, knowing what I know now, is that education no longer is the same as it was 25 years ago. You can't just rely on just some one school to go there, and they're going to give you all these skill sets, and you graduate with a piece of paper with a degree, and all of a sudden you can find a job. The jobs aren't even out there anymore. You have to find your own job now. You have to make your own job this day and age. Yeah, the companies, corporations, industry stuff is still going to be there, and it'll go up and down, but how, in terms of longevity-wise, we'll establish ourselves and keep what we do is by basically establishing our own thing. So in education, I wouldn't stick to just one school. I would diversify that by using many resources. I would still use universities, but I would not go there to graduate. I would go there to learn some fundamentals, meet people, maybe go there for 6 months to a year, apply for it, quit, leave. And then go to places like CDA, Brainstorm, online schools, my classes, Aaron Blaze, or someone like that, gather all these resources, but I built that discipline at that college. I can now use it for myself, because if you just went online purely, establishing that discipline and patience is really difficult, because you don't have the example next to you of the other person to work with every single day. So you need that camaraderie. That's where you establish it in the university or in a public college or in an in-person place. From there, online is fine. So I would use that now, which back then I only went to a university, but today if I just went to an art center, I'm not gonna make it. So I'm gonna take all of this stuff and use it to my advantage and position myself where I can now also get the education, but then the next thing I will do is while I'm applying for a job, I'm gonna make my own products. These sort of books I have right now, I would be doing them as a student, not after being a student. And you might think, but my skills aren't good enough yet. That doesn't matter. You will never feel like you're good enough. There's never a point you're like, okay, I'm good enough now, I can make a book. I did it because I was curious, I was interested. Yeah, I would try to make a book. I'm at a show, I got a chance, an opportunity, I gotta sell something, I'll make it. If I had that chance as a student and I made that opportunity happen by signing up for a table like at Lightbox or somewhere else, I gotta make stuff. So right now, if you walk around Lightbox, it's not just professionals that are 20 years in advance, there can be students out there too. And there should be, there has to be, because I recommend that. Students will walk around right now and tell them the first thing you need to be doing as a student is to put yourself out there. That's it.
I wish I had started drawing in perspective a long time ago. I didn't realize just how easy it was. I avoided it for so long, and putting down a grid made everything a lot easier.
I think really just learning the vocabulary of different art terms and concepts really helps, because you're going to understand how things fit into place on, let's say, like a fundamental tree. And then when you're able to do that and you're approaching an exercise, you can really figure out, like, target something specific that you want to practice. And without that intention, mindset that you have like a goal to practice, you're kind of going to be drawing without much purpose.
더 많이 즐기고 더 많이 놀아라. 더 많은 경험이 필요하고 많은 사람들과 친해져라.
I would probably say just showing up every day and not waiting for inspiration to strike. I think that's the difference between quote unquote, professionals and amateurs. Professionals, when you have commission work and you have deadlines, you can't wait for the inspiration to strike because you have that deadline. So you can't afford to just sit around and wait for something to happen. You sit down, you start drawing, and maybe the first few hours, the drawings suck. Sometimes it happens, like you just don't feel like drawing. Maybe you're tired, maybe you have something going on in your life. But when you sit down, you start drawing and you get into it slowly. Sometimes it takes more, sometimes it takes less time. You inevitably will get in that zone. And that is something that I only realized when I started working, because I had to just show up no matter what, and I had to do the work and not just sit around and wait for inspiration. That's something that also, the second question that you said, I see in a lot of people mistake a lot, sorry. They just sit around and wait for inspiration to strike, whereas that might not happen anytime soon. So you're just losing time, essentially, where you could be sitting down, drawing, failing, but you're still doing something, You're still like pushing forward no matter the result of the drawing. At the end of the day, it's just lines on paper, it's not that stressful.
Really what I wish I knew is that everyone in the industry is just people. And studios are just each individual studios that are filled with individual people, and everyone's just kind of a person, you know what I mean? So whenever you think of like the industry, or you think about working in the games industry or animation or illustration or whatever, just remember it's all individuals. When you kind of get that in your head, you realize that the simple conversations you have with people, the small connections, they add up. And before you know it, you're kind of in the industry, and it kind of sneaks up on you a little bit. So I think I wish that I knew that it was just regular people who have regular lives and are just doing art because they like it and they work really hard. That's pretty much all it is. But when I was younger, I thought it was like some mythical, magical thing that, you have to earn your place among the pantheon of gods. And it's like, it's not really like that, So I wish I knew that, I suppose, yeah.
If you're a professional artist, the first word is professional. So what I've learned is I need to be a professional. It's also about being an artist, obviously, but you need to know how pipelines work, how you work with people, how you add value to yourself, how you sell yourself. If I knew that earlier on, I would have probably had jobs faster. I would have probably grown in the industry faster. That knowledge usually comes with age. But I do feel like artists do not focus enough on their communication.
Oh, there's so many things. Trying to find the best one. Okay, top of my head. Try to develop, for storyboarding, because that's what I do. Try to develop a really good mannequin that you can use. But don't use it as a shortcut. Study anatomy rigorously and use that knowledge to make shortcut mannequins that work really well. Because if you never establish a good mannequin to draw from, you'll draw mistakes the rest of your life.
Check the link in the description for a free book covering 25 crucial drawing exercises that helped me improve my art and should do the same for you. If you want to hear more from these pros, I asked them different questions on this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.